So my speech is about do grades matter after college. Have you ever been so worried about a upcoming assignment as a student where you really stress over it? Because most students stress over grades and schoolwork, but those grades, do they really matter in the long run? Students spend hours upon hours doing homework and studying, but do not always see the results they expect. Do grades show uh, moral character? Do they define how much one actually knows, or are they really just goals to meet? I've used peer-reviewed academic journals on this topic, so I will examine how students' moral character plays a part in their grades and how students might change their moral characters to get the grades they want. Second, I will discuss how grades may or may not actually accurately show the knowledge of students and how it can be misleading by only looking at their grades. And I will also discuss how grades are used as goals instead of accurate reflections of a student's progress. And do they actually strive for knowledge, or are they just striving to get A's? So moral character is something most people value, but there are reasons that can cause someone to go against their moral characters. So while cheating is viewed as academically dishonest and something that is very frowned upon, especially in college, students can see cheating as normal behavior, and are more inclined to cheat if they believe their peers and friends are cheating as well. They do this because if their peers are cheating, then why can't they? Why can't they go the same route that their friends are, because their friends aren't getting caught? And with students cheating their grades to get their grades, it can lead to an increase for future unethical actions in both further education and later working life. And because students might be able to achieve higher grades, but in real life, they can't achieve the results that they're looking for because they're cheating the system or going around the rules. Because of this, it reflects more on their individual character than bad grades would. And most of the time, grades are not always public knowledge to employers and are only given if the individual believes they could be useful. Knowledge versus grades. So when it comes to an individual trying to get a job, the employer is looking more for knowledge than they are looking for grades. In Emily Zimmerman's article, she focuses on how law students and their grades, most, if not all, law students receive high grades in their undergraduate programs, but once they get to their first year of law school, see a dramatic change. And this is because professors use curved grading systems for determining a student's grade, which means grades are determined by reference to other students' grades instead of based on a set rubric or a set A, B, C, D. And while scenarios like the one Zimmerman describes can be beneficial, grades are not 100% accurate of showing the knowledge gained by the students in certain areas. And honestly, knowledge is more important than grades. In school, from a young age, it is stressed of how important grades are. While yes, they are important, have they become more of a goal than learning the material? In Kelsey Kathleen's article, she describes how grades can take away from learning without grades, students are not engaged in learning as much as they would be. She stated that without grades, students completed 11 to 64% of the recommended assignments. She also references Kahn's article from 1999 about how he reported that grades sully the learning environment and are not valid, reliable, or objective measures of learning. And because of this, grades reduce students' interest in learning, preferences for challenge tasks, and they are more likely to focus on a GPA versus their actual their learning. So to conclude, the concern of students should not be what grades they're making. Instead, it should be on how much they're learning and how much they're retaining instead, because finding a job will focus